Welcome back to What She Said Sports. Yay! Okay, so why am I happy? Um, because I know my girl Angel Reese is not deterred by being snubbed by the WNBA, who, by the way, is hiding behind the media. Why does the media have to be the last say so when it comes to whether a player gets awarded what they have worked so hard for? We just saw it happen during the Super Bowl with who? Lamar Jackson, the best quarterback, right? Gets what? Snubbed again for the third MVP. Now it's Angel Reese's turn. Now we know that the voting is a mix, right? It's a mix of fans who ultimately the fans should be the deciding factor, right? I mean, honestly, who's paying to come see these players play? The fans, right? That's going to be the purest form of, in my opinion, validation as to who they consider to be uh, their faves the best, right? All star is supposed to be what? Talent, fan base, etc. So there are two players, one made it in and one didn't. Angel Reese did not make it in as a starter for All Star. Mind you, you just heard me say she put up 70 rebounds over the last 4 games. She was player of the game. She's the defensive leader for rebounds. And she was just named Eastern Conference Player of the Week. And she is snubbed as a starter. One of your best players is snubbed as a starter. Down to the right side of the screen, underneath Angel wearing her crown, because she is the queen of the court. She is the princess of the WNBA, right? The voting for her came out to be what? Fans voted her in, technically. Number 5. She was ranked 5 when it came to fans. But when it came to her peers, she's ranked 12th. When it came to the media, she's ranked 12th. Now, mind you, I'm not shocked by the media's vote. We've seen how biased the media is towards Angel. So I don't even know why they have a say. In fact, when it came to Lamar Jackson, some of the media members changed their vote, and that's how he lost. There was hands down no debate that Lamar Jackson was the best, but the second best one. So in this case, the fans voted Angel in. Number 5, she should be a starter. The media did what the media does. But nobody's talking about her peers voting her number 12. Now, when it comes to Caitlin Clark, her peers voted her number 9. The fans voted for her overwhelmingly. No surprise there, right? And the media voted her number 3. So the WNBA felt like they had to choose. And to me, they stacked the deck with Aaliyah Boston. Nobody understands why Aaliyah Boston is in over Angel Reese. That spot should have went to Angel Reese, but I have a theory. We're going to talk about my theory about something I know happened last year. And I felt like Aaliyah Boston basically agreed to take a back seat to Caitlin. We're going to talk about it. So, Caitlin, all you hear today is people are jealous of her because her peers ranked her number 9. There is not one big box channel talking about Angel Reese being voted 12. And to me, what I feel like that says, I feel like it shows that there's some cattiness, that there's some mean girl spirit amongst the players, right? People say the other players guard Caitlin like she's one of the best. I think they guard her like that because she's a trash talker and they just getting back, right? That's what they do. But when it comes to Angel Reese, I don't really see any issues with the players. But for the players to have her ranked 12th, that's like, whoa. Now peer, that peer vote, that's interesting. Why do y'all think the players, not the media? We know the media is biased. The fans got it right. The media did what the media does. And in my opinion, the WNBA is hiding behind the media. If people changed their votes or voted a certain way when it came to Lamar Jackson and MVP to favor Josh Allen, I'm not surprised that the media is biased in this case. But the peer vote, I'm not surprised that Caitlin Clark's peers voted her number 9. I'm not at all. Why? She's a trash talker. right? She don't get the foul calls, but she instigates a lot of it, right? She's missed 7 games. Her numbers are not good. This is not her year. People have said Caitlin Clark had a bad stretch this year. I said she had a bad stretch last year. I said Caitlin Clark had a bad stretch her rookie year. She had a bad stretch her sophomore year. Can you predict year 3? She's going to have a bad stretch. Guess what's plaguing her? Turnovers. This is her second time being hurt, and the season just started. Is she really hurt? Or is it that they don't want her to look any worse than she truly is? Can she really go? And they're like, no, 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 no. Because negative play before All Star, maybe the media wouldn't be so generous with giving her number 3. How would she get number 3? Her numbers don't even support number 3. Her numbers don't support number 3, and they don't support Aaliyah Boston being there. Aaliyah Boston in over Angel Reese is a snub, with the WNBA hiding behind the media. Look at who's there. Paige, she deserves to be there. Paige is balling out. I don't know, and I don't see anybody being sacrificed for Paige. In fact, they didn't really turn her loose until recently. It just Enrique shots, they just not falling consistently. They still need Enrique, but I would have thought she would have emerged as the best player on the team. But her shots aren't falling. So if her shots aren't falling, regardless of why they aren't falling, it has to be Paige. I don't see anybody being sacrificed like I did in Indiana. Last year in Indiana, this the theory. I told y'all the bad stretch that Caitlin had last year. They went 2-11 with the ball going through her. And she seemed shocked when she got benched and that coach got fired. But there was a player or 2 or 3 that got pushed to the wayside. Erica Mitchell, who they thought they was going to let walk. If anybody out of Indiana deserves to be on that ballot, it is Erica Mitchell as a guard. Because she's the best guard on the Indiana Fever. Until recently, the Fever were like 7-8. They lost more games than they won. Erica Mitchell, when they played the Dallas Wings, subdued Dallas. She put up 31 points. You know why she's not going to ascend in the All-Star balloting when it comes to the media? Because the Fever don't talk about her. They don't talk about her. Caitlin is in street clothes, and during the Dallas game, they talking about Caitlin when somebody actually said it. Erica Mitchell deserves her flowers. She does. That's who the best baller is on the squad. So fan voting, Angel Reese won. Caitlin Clark, fan voting, won. Both of their peer votes were down. 9 and 12. 9 for Caitlin, 12 for Reese. The media gave Caitlin 3 and Angel 12. And they put in Aaliyah Boston over the Eastern Conference player, the number 1 defensive player for rebounds, player of the game. People are saying that she's playing on another level. And I heard somebody say what we talked about. I said, I attribute that to her play and her ability to play somewhere else, making the WNBA not the end all to be all. It's secondary, meaning she's fulfilled her talent can shine with unrivaled. That's why she balling out in the WNBA. See, before she had all of that to deal with and nowhere else for it to be an outlet. They were actually trying to subdue her this year, but guess what? Injuries. Injuries. So guess what? She's getting a chance to shine. Now, when the other person comes back from injuries, are they going to go back to the Fugazi that I asked y'all why the hell are they 2 and 6? Because they didn't want to run the ball through Angel. Why? Because they didn't want to do what? Make sure that she gets a leg up and start. Aaliyah Boston should not be starting over Angel Reese. Not with this year's numbers, but Aaliyah Boston, my theory, is one of those players like Erica Mitchell who was sacrificed last year. But see, here's the difference, right? When the ball ran through Aaliyah Boston, the Fever won. When they switched off and basically took the ball out of Aaliyah Boston's hand last year, they gave it to Caitlin and they went on a 2-11 losing stretch. Then they gave it back to Aaliyah. And they started winning again. And then what happened? The coach benched, the coach benched Caitlyn. And then the WNBA got upset because their preference was on the bench. Their marketing strategy was on the bench. We want people to come to the games. So she needs to play, win or lose. So Atlanta Hawks. So Atlanta Hawks. And I watched the next thing that happened. There was a TikTok with the Indiana Fever working out together. And it was Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and somebody else. Now, here's some context. When the season started and Aaliyah Boston was trying to be friendly with Caitlin Clark, she was like, and people called it out on social media. And they had different reasons for it. Oh, she's from Iowa. She's not comfortable. So basically, she was being snarky with Aaliyah Boston, who was trying to be welcoming with her, right? But then when they lose, the ball got to go through Aaliyah. They win. The WNBA gets upset. Aaliyah got to take the ball out of her hands and give it to Caitlyn, even though they losing. Imagine being on a team and you don't get the ball because they want this one person with it in their hands so people on TV could see it. So here's what I think. When Aaliyah Boston was trying to be friendly with Caitlin Clark, and Caitlin was like, and the fans were like, she's from Iowa. She's not comfortable. Then when it was time for Aaliyah to emerge as the leader and the WNBA intervened, Caitlyn suddenly was seen working out with Aaliyah Boston. I saw that TikTok and I shook my head. I said, this girl basically has agreed to take a back seat so Caitlyn can shine. And this went on all season. That's why after Angel Reese got hurt, I was out. It was too much. The NFL might get like that for me. I just want y'all to know I'm a sports channel, but the NFL might get like that for me. Because using racism as a marketing strategy, sacrificing players, pushing them to the side, and you're losing when the people you're pushing to the side are the ones you need to win, all for the sake of you want people to come to the game who are straight white women. If straight white women want to come see a group of women who are African American and queer, then so be it if they don't. But to take talent like Angel Reese and shun her and try to hold up Caitlyn. See, here's what's happening this year. Separation. Aaliyah, in my opinion, took a back seat when Caitlyn decided to start being nice and friendly. That was no accident. And then the season went the way it did. And when they got to the playoffs, they got spanked. Because why? They were getting help. I remember watching a WNBA game where the Chicago Sky played Phoenix Mercury, where Brittany Griner was. I will never forget this. And Brittany Griner was so ugly towards Angel Reese. But then the next game, they go back to Phoenix and the Indiana Fever come to town. And she act like she didn't know how to guard Caitlin Clark. I saw that happen when they played the New York Liberty. The Fever were getting help last year. That's why they tanked so badly. That's why they burned out, crashed in the playoffs, because they got help to get there, like the Kansas City Chiefs. And you see what finally came of that. They had to let some refs go. You see what happened without those refs. They crashed and burned. The Indiana Fever were getting help like the Kansas City Chiefs. Just a little different. Maybe not the refs in the WNBA, but definitely some of the players eased up off of Caitlyn because that was their orders. How can it happen on multiple teams? There was one game when Sabrina Ionescu didn't even start shooting. She didn't even start shooting till it was 4 minutes into the game. And the bucket she missed was the points that Indiana won by. I was like, this some bullshit. See, nobody wants to pay for that, right? So they think they smart this year. We gonna let Angel play. I even question all these accolades coming out of everywhere for Angel. Here we go. She's snubbed from the WNBA All-Star game. It's 4 black players and 4 white ones. I don't know where Satu Sabali falls. but it's half and half with Aaliyah Boston. And if not Aaliyah, it should be Angel. But the dynamic of Asia Wilson and Angel Reese on the same team or playing against each other in the WNBA, what happens with that? The attention goes to the dynamic personalities. Caitlyn does not have a dynamic personality. Paige Buckers have more of a dynamic personality than Caitlyn. People question why weren't they talking about Paige so much? And they were like, oh, they're not going to talk about her like that. And I'm like, why? So somebody sent me or forwarded a photo. Apparently she has a sister who's black. A half sister, somebody's black. I don't know. It's a pretty girl. And I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. So the WNBA is doing like the NFL, right? Using preference so they can market to people that they want to come to the games, which in my opinion, they was already called out for it last year. Your fans like a lot of players, so you can't dictate who your fans are. Aaliyah Boston and both Caitlin Clark, who really neither of them should be starters. Neither of them should be starters. They're there because the Indiana Fever is the team that they want to come to everybody's town and sell out the arenas. Now, there are other teams that can do this. It just happened with Dallas. You don't think it could have happened before the Fever came? Of course it could have. But that's not what they want. They want the credit to go where? To a particular person in a particular direction, because somehow that's who they want the face of the league to be, despite the lack of talent. You're not the best talent. You're a good 3-point shooter. We'll give you that. You're a good 3-point shooters. There are a lot of 3-point shooters that are good in the WNBA. Why don't they be the face of the league? What is it about Caitlyn? Why aren't you talking about Paige the way you're talking about Caitlyn? Because there's an agenda still. They're just trying to this year be a little subtle with it. So Caitlin Clark also by her peers voted down, number 9. But they allowed her not only to be a starter, they named her a captain. Nafessa Collier is a captain because she earned it. Because why? She's the offensive leader for points. That makes sense, right? That makes sense, right? So how is it that somebody, if it didn't work for Angel, if the peer vote worked against Angel, then why is it working for Caitlyn? So nobody else could have been the captain? Because that's what they want to do. You can't hold back Nafessa Collier just like you couldn't hold back Cam Ward, because I'm going to know what you're doing. Nafessa Collier earned it just like Cam Ward earned it. I told y'all just a few days ago, all these leagues that have majority black talent are on the same agenda to suppress the black talent and make the face of it white. So Angel Reese got snubbed again by the WNBA, hiding behind the media, no doubt. But her peer vote, now that's interesting, because I rarely see people get into a skirmish with Angel. You rarely see it. You rarely see that. So how does that come about? Were they influenced to vote that way? Was this the overall agenda to keep Angel off the starting because her personality is dynamic, because fans would want to see Angel Reese? They would rather fans come see Caitlin Clark, so I'm not going to put them together. I don't know why not. That's what fans want to see, competition. So they want to remove the competition. And even though Caitlyn was voted down by her peers, all people are talking about today is they are jealous of Caitlyn, but nobody's talking about Angel except for me and a few others. Because she's been snubbed again. And I know the WNBA is hiding behind the media because the NFL did it. So what is Angel to do? She already plays in Unrivaled. You could see that she's benefiting from the WNBA not being her only outlet. But what is she to do when 12 of your peers, or you're voted down to number 12 by your peers? Now that's a different story. What do y'all think? Why would they be jealous of Angel? She seemed like nobody post up on her. I don't see her squabbling with anybody. I don't see a melee with her. The only issue I saw at the beginning of the season involved Caitlyn. I know why Caitlyn is 9 for that reason, because she starts shit and she don't get called for it. But Angel, it's not making any sense. And she was voted ranked 12 by her peers and the media. It's a little fishy. So let me see what y'all are saying. Hey, everybody. Hey, Political Lil. Hey, Val. Reddit, Milky Way. Well, hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. They know Angel would outshine the Great Hope in the All-Star game. That's exactly what I think. They did not want her in the All-Star game. So they're hitting her up with all of this player of the game, Eastern Conference. We love you. We love you. Well, guess what you're going to have to start saying now? MVP. MVP, because she's putting up MVP numbers. Angel and Asia are putting up MVP numbers, but Angel is the one that gets snubbed. And people are like, why is Aaliyah Boston on there? I'm like, who does she play for? Right. That's why she's on there. So they made this more about marketing than about talent and about what the fans want to see. Caitlin Clark's fan vote worked for her, but it didn't work for Angel Reese. Now, how do you make that decision? Oh, you're going to say, well, the media didn't vote for Angel? Duh. The media is biased against Angel. It shouldn't even be allowed to vote. They don't bow out. They just cause commotion. And they're just biased. The media vote shouldn't have ever been involved, whether it was Angel or Caitlyn, because the media is biased. Go to the peers and go to the fans. And when it comes down to the peers and the fans, who the hell paying for these goddamn tickets? The fans. And if you think the fans are happy about Angel Reese being left out of All-Star, that's just crazy. They don't even have Skylar Diggins on there. The players that bring the excitement are not in the All-Star game. It looks political. It looks mean girlish. That's what I'm going to attribute Angel's 12 ranking by her peers. It's either fraud or mean girlish. One or the other. But since we don't see any outward animosity towards Angel, it might be fraud. Desperate people do desperate things, and they wanted to keep Angel out. Angel is killing it this season. Caitlyn has missed 7 games, and she's not doing well, and her turnovers are still a problem, just like last year. But her fan vote worked for her. That's why the title is Angel Reese Snubbed by the WNBA again. Who do you think made that determination? I'm not surprised. Look at how they be slick stuff into Angel. Yep, they pulled her hair. Yeah, that's crazy. Every game, it seems like people are doing slick stuff to Angel. So yeah, that means that maybe they hated on her then. Hey Gracie, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Kelsey. Yeah, people said Kelsey Plum. I think that's who you're talking about. Should have been on there. These people stay on nonsense, then act like we blind. Yeah, that's the crazy part. It's like the fans on both. When you look at everything that's happening, the fans are the ones that's being cheated. The fans are the ones that pay, and the fans are the ones that's being cheated. Y'all already know what's going on in the NFL. Y'all know with Shador. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. The best player, they want to hide the best player. They want to exclude the best player from the opportunity to ball out, which makes the fan happy. That's ultimately what the fans go to see. The WNBA is no different. I've said it before. So all of this placating to Angel, giving her all of these awards, but you snub her. You snub her from All-Star, and you upset because the peers for Caitlyn vote her down. But you make a determination and not only let her be a starter, you let her be the captain, and her peers then voted her down. But it don't even work for Angel Reese to get in there. You have to have another player from the Indiana Fever, Aaliyah Boston, that you know unlikely. You probably made a deal with last year. Hey, if you just let the ball go through Caitlyn in last year, then we'll go ahead and get you on All-Star balloting twice. It wouldn't surprise me at all because that's what I thought last year. And when I saw her on there, I said, oh, there it is. She took a back seat. And I thought she was crazy for taking a back seat because she was more talented. But maybe she didn't have a choice. And she's not the best player on their team. In that position, it came down to her, De'Erica Hamby, and Angel Reese. De'Erica or Angel Reese is better than Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah Boston was better last year, but she took a step back so Caitlin could run it through the ball through her and get all the accolades. So now she blocking Angel or De'Erica Hamby. You see how that works? When you make a deal to let somebody else shine, your time begins to expire. And now this year she's not the best. Last year she was, but she took a back seat and now she's not. And now it's somebody else's turn. But hey, we have an obligation to Aaliyah Boston. And they do. Because she chose to take a step back, even though she was better than Caitlin. And when the ball ran through Aaliyah Boston, check the stats, they won. And then they went 2-11. And then the coach got fired eventually. So that tells you there's a whole lot of marketing happening and a whole lot of politicking taking place. So once again, somebody who's not balling out on the court is not the best, can not only get in and be a starter, but can become the captain because they want to make her the face. I hope don't nobody watch that shit. Because that's the only way they gonna goddamn it learn. In the Chicago Sky, I don't understand their place for the second season in a row, why they will allow somebody on in their franchise who can help their franchise get to the top. Why the hell you would allow Angel Reese to be snubbed like this? What is your vested interest once again in letting the league snub your goddamn team? What, you don't want to make the money? This is the second time the Chicago Sky has been complicit of allowing the league, the media, and anybody else to badger one of their players. Like, oh, there's nothing we could do. But then they send a coach. They go 2-6. I ask y'all, why the hell? They like, because they not giving the ball to Angel. But then somebody get hurt. And then Angel got to step up. And boy, does she. Now let's see what they do when the other person can play again. That tells you the strategy was to block Angel from the jump this season. Why do you think she balling out like she is? Because they were restraining her. Yeah, they were saying because she's from Iowa that she probably wasn't comfortable with Aaliyah Boston. She sure got comfortable with her real fast when it came time to convince Aaliyah to give the ball to Caitlin and let the ball run through her. So much so that another player that now plays for Dallas was so frustrated that a member of their family spoke out on Twitter about the nonsense. Please trade my sister. And they was going to let Erica Mitchell walk until other teams start rubbing their hands together because Erica Mitchell was the life of the team. And all the WNBA does is talk about Caitlin so that they don't see nobody else. See, you can't deny Angel Reese. And that's why they decided to keep Erica Mitchell. Because if she would have left Indiana and went to another team like Chicago, Caitlin who? That's exactly what it would be. So they kept her to suppress her. Does that sound familiar? Let me draft you and bench you so somebody else could shine. That's what they do. So yeah, Angel Reese got snubbed again. So that's exactly what it is. It's either fraud when it comes to the media vote and mean girl and or fraud when it comes to the peers. Somebody said, please don't think the Sky give a damn. They probably getting paid under the table. They have to be because it makes absolutely no sense for the moves that they made last year. When they cut Kaiser Granditrick, people were like, are you making business decisions? No. Not only was the Chicago team getting all the conversation on and off the court, they didn't like that. because two people they didn't prefer, they didn't plan on, that wasn't a part of their marketing strategy to bring in straight white women were getting all the love. And who was that? The Barbie bestie, Bestie and her Barbie. That's it. Those two were taking all the attention away, and they wanted to suppress everybody else so Caitlyn could shine. I tell you what, if she good, she can shine on the court. And even though she's missed 7 games, even though her turnovers are still problematic, even though her numbers are down, they still want her to be the face. Why? She's not the only white woman in the WNBA. She's not the only straight white woman in the WNBA. So what is it? It's something that has nothing to do with basketball. It's probably the same reason the Kansas City Chiefs kept getting the pass and kept getting help. And I told y'all, it's something about the ideology of that franchise that they keep wanting to put that franchise out there. I think it's the same thing. And what's so annoying is that all three leagues, the NBA, the WNBA, and the NFL, are dominated by melanated talent. And that's who they want to suppress. And because melanated talent is leading the way, they are choosing to forsake talent, forego talent, ignore talent, just to put somebody else in the way. And here's my thing. Here's my thing. Why you even have to have anything to do with it? Why you just can't get the hell out the way? Why do you feel like you have to orchestrate what's going on with a league when most of the talent is dominantly melanated? Why do you have to have your hands in it at all? Go find another goddamn sport. Hockey is still active. It's like, it's not enough to just let the best rise to the top. Because when the best keep rising to the top and they're melanated, then they have to start orchestrating things. That's exactly the era that we're in right now. And I'm asking, do you even have to be a part of it at all? You don't like black people, but you want to have a hand in what takes place with a league that's dominated by majority black people. That makes absolutely no sense. Because I don't pay attention to shit I don't like. So why do you feel the need to put your hands and orchestrate the outcome from leagues that are dominated by melanated individuals? You don't have to have nothing to do with it. Can anybody tell me that? That's where we are. There are people associated with the NFL. There are people associated with the WNBA. There are people associated with the NBA in places of power and influence that don't like black people, that don't want black people to be the face of their leagues, even though they are the best talent wise. But they want to keep themselves associated with it when they could go mind their goddamn business and do something else. You are messing it up for the people who want to see the pure competition of the sport. And you know what they say? If some people can't be the captain of the ship, they'll sink the whole damn thing. Melanated individuals dominate these leagues as talent, but everybody else want to have their hand in it. And now they want to suppress the talent of the league. That's destroying the league. No different than the rap game. Why you got to have your hands in it? Khalil said, that's why I don't take the league seriously. Even the way it's structured. Yep. I am used to seeing more what? More parity between them. Yeah, it's sad. The fans are being defrauded. Right. The fans are being defrauded. That's who's losing. We're losing. I'm like, God damn it, I just want to see some good football this season. I was looking forward to seeing the players who balled out in college ball out in the NFL. Okay, that ain't happening. Now they're manipulating college so that the NFL don't have to treat anybody else like they did Shador. They trying to make sure that the top 5 that come out this year are the majority white. I saw one poll that has Kato Salter at number 15. They did the same thing last year. They devalued Cam Ward and Shador Sanders. They weren't even in the top 5. Because now, instead of cheating the players in the draft, because everybody has seen it and it's already a problem, and we have unfinished business there, 17 to 32, they trying to orchestrate it coming out of college. Now that's where it's going to get to be a problem because people are spending 40 and 50 million dollars on these rosters. They're not about to hold back talent so you could lose. See, it's different in college than with the pros. See, that's why a lot of these basketball players didn't even come out to the NBA draft. That's why a lot of WNBA players who were supposed to come out decided to stay in school because they see the bullshit writing on the wall. I'll stay here and get this money. You ain't paying no way. Facts for the WNBA. Hell, I might go to Unrivaled. So my question is, not surprising that the media voted down Angel Reese. I don't know why the hell they got a hand in it. I said the same thing with MVP voting. The media is too goddamn biased against black players. I don't give a damn what league they playing in to have a hand in the voting. No, that's how you keep the bias in play. The media don't shouldn't have nothing to do with it. Let them talk for free with no access to anything, and then we see how objective they will become. But the more that they're allowed to be biased, that's how you keep hurting certain players, and that's not right. And the fans are being cheated. So in addition to hurting the players, devaluing the players, cheating the players, you're cheating the damn fans. And it needs to stop. Some way, shape, or form, or we just ain't gonna be here. I don't know what the hell it is. But the tide is going to turn. But that's the problem. Angel Reese was snubbed. And she one of the best ones they have. She will be in the MVP conversation unless they decide to do what? Restrain her like they started the season. They were happy with 2-6. And then she got to come out here and work her butt off to change it so they can have a winning record. Same thing with Erica Mitchell in Indiana. These melanated players, these black players, some of them have melanin and they don't identify as black. So these melanated players are being cheated. The fans are being cheated. So more of them ought to stay in school as long as they can and find something else to do. Take your money from college, the millions you get in from college. I told y'all yesterday, just in case you didn't hear it, Coach Don Staley is in consideration for NBA head coach. I like the idea. I'm tired of seeing the NBA recycle failing coach after failing coach blocking who? All these black assistant coaches that are stacking up to the ceiling. That's all they were doing. And now their numbers low. So they considering who? Legendary college coach Don Staley. I like the idea. See, that's what has to happen. Their numbers got to slip. Their numbers got to fall. They have to become the joke of all leagues. Oh, nobody's even watching the NBA anymore. That's what it has to become before they start to do something that actually makes sense. Get a good coach. Stop recycling these failures. Nobody wants to see it. It has taken a toll on the league. I'm sitting here in my Atlanta Hawks t-shirt and I have not been to a Hawks game in 2 years. That's a lot for me because I would even be there watching while they were in the playoffs somewhere else when they were trying to do that extra round where you get in to see if you get like a play in. They showed it at the arena. Hell, I was there watching it with everybody else and they were in a whole nother city playing. That's what dedicated fans do. And these tickets not cheap. When the Lakers come to town, them tickets $1,000. When Boston come to town, they up there. And the stadium is half green because people don't want to see the Hawks because the Hawks don't care about winning. They come to see their favorite players on the other team. They come to see LeBron. They come to see Steph. I'm like, screw this. I'm better off keeping my money. That's how we're going to have to be about the other teams. So I could eventually feel this way again when it comes to the NFL because that's the era that we're in. Every team dominated. Every league dominated where melanin talent is dominating. is being orchestrated and meddled with and destroyed. They are destroying the talent because they don't like who's rising to the top with talent. So let's go with preference. Okay, yeah. So that's why I'm like, just mind your damn business and go find you something else. Golf needs sponsors. Go work on that. Like, why do you have to, when it comes to leagues that are dominated by players who are melanated, why do you have to have anything to do with it if all you want to do is destroy it? You want to dumb it down. You want to take pocket passes like Lamar Jackson and dumb him down. You want to take somebody like Angel Reese, who in her second year should be celebrated because her game is elevated. And you want to hide her on the bench. And somebody had to get hurt. That's what's going to have to happen in Cleveland. If y'all want to see Shador, some people going to have to get hurt. Or they're going to have to lose. But they okay with losing. They okay with losing money. They okay with losing on the record. They don't care about none of that. They okay with everything but losing fans. And that's what needs to happen. That's what needs to happen. People who are fans of Angel Reese, that get their kids all dolled up to meet Angel, that go to these games, that buy these tickets. What you think they're going to tell their kid? Why isn't Angel Reese a starter? She's good. Oh, because adults are racist. That's the answer. So now you got to teach your kid about racism. You got to teach your kid that you can work out, ball out, and be the best. But if you go to one of these leagues because you melanated, they're going to suppress your talent because they don't want to see your melanated face everywhere. People have to teach their kids. Well, why is Shador's the best and everybody does this, but he's sitting on the bench in Cleveland? Because adults are racist. Because adults are racist. They choose to be racist. And they want to destroy any league that has a majority of melanated talent. They can't stand to see the talent rise and make the money and move into ownership and be the face on all product marketing. They don't want to see the melanated faces be the people that they're talking about. They feel some type of way when the melanin rises to the top. People have to go tell their kids why Angel Reese is not a starter for All-Star Weekend, although they know she's the best. Just like people have to tell their kids about Shador. Because adults are racist. That's why. Just tell them and then explain to them, because one day they're going to get there too. It just might be in a different arena outside of sports, but it's going to happen. Adults are racist. They want to control when melanated people make money, how much money they make, and what the hell they do with it, and when they die, who they leave it to. Because adults are racist. That's why. That's why all three of these leagues that I have aforementioned, which, by the way, are the same leagues, the same sports in college that bring in all the money. That's why the fight for NIL was as long as it was. They were content to use name, image, and likeness in every game without paying these players. And then you have people saying, oh, that's why Nick Saban left. Well, bye. But now he's what? The commissioner who governs the NIL money for the Power 5 conferences. Hell, I would go to a HBCU. You left because you didn't want to have to deal with NIL, but you comfortable with sitting as a commissioner regulating how much money people get or if they get money at all. Well, that tell us why you left. Because you couldn't be in control. So when people, y'all got to explain to your kids why Angel Reese got snubbed, because adults are racist. And some of them women just petty and catty and mean girl spirited. The media is racist. They're biased. That's not a surprise. And the league is willing to hide behind the media so they can suppress one of the best players who's out here killing it in her second year and could be in the MVP conversation. Trying to find multiple ways to suppress her, but injury. Yeah, and they don't want to pay these athletes they value either. No, they want to devalue Shador, but then they want to get him for $4 million and go, well, we're going to get somebody else next year. Yeah, okay. Warren Moon was right to go to Canada. This is exactly why Warren Moon went to Canada, because he did not want to be devalued. This is the year you see, hands down, they do not respect talent in the NFL. Stephen A said it. The draft is not about talent. Khalil said adults are racist and they are raising baby. Yep, they are. They surely are. They surely are. It's funny. I don't hear nobody talking about Shadua Sanders parking speeding tickets today, probably because they don't want to talk about Resloff and why the hell he hopped in the portal after he violated the honor code at BYU. And they're saying, well, the girl dropped the charges. We probably going to talk about that. We also have another show coming up. We are going to talk about what the hell is wrong with the NFL. That's the series that's coming up. We already talked about collusion. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. So now we just gonna talk about what the hell is wrong with the NFL. And we are starting with Shadua Sanders and Deshaun Watson. I am an Angel Reese supporter. I will continue to support Angel Reese. I will watch her play as long as I can not be nauseated by the commentators. I might have to just turn the volume down. This young woman she is having her first MVP season. She is. And I encourage y'all to show her some love, because they not going to let her shine, right? Which means if your peers are against you, right, in the WNBA and the WNBA itself is against you, maybe when it's time for your contract to come up, if the numbers are not where they need to be, go full time with Unrivaled. Sometimes you got to give people what they want. I'm sure she has other things that she could do. Then again, she might want to just play. But what these players like Angel Reese and Shadua Sanders have to understand is too much toxicity is going to take a toll on you. You have to make sure you have another outlet. That's why I'm happy Angel Reese has Unrivaled. And that's why I encourage Shadua Sanders to get what is it, two legendary or legendary OT-17. He needs another outlet where he can be himself and pour into people at a time where people are trying to deplete him mentally. That is very important if you're going to stay in these toxic environments. All right, so that's that. We already know what's wrong. That's just the name of the series. I just have some videos to talk about. They talking about Deshaun Watson mentoring some of the Cleveland Browns players. The only name I see associated with is Shadua Sanders, and of course I have some thoughts. There's multiple perspectives on that. So we're gonna talk about that when I come back. I'll be back probably at about 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which is 4 o'clock Central. It said we know too much. I always turn the volume down. I think it's funny that what they say bothers me so much that I have to pick and choose someone to engage with. Yeah. I have to turn the volume down on the game. It's just, I'm like, hey, this girl's over here in street clothes, and you're not even talking about the girl that's balling. That's what agendas look like, and they'll get anybody to exact the agenda. People out here are making decisions to sacrifice their careers, and then when time passes them by, I know she feel guilty because why? I know she knows she made a sacrifice. But now, see, that's the problem. See, time gonna keep going, right? And the more they can get you to hide yourself and take a back seat to somebody else, when the path does clear, even due to injury, you're not who you used to be. That's why Shadua being benched for 4 seasons. No, they cannot waste that young man's talent like that. I watched a documentary earlier talking about the Houston Comets. It just came on, and how The WNBA tried to move Cheryl Swoops out the way for another player named Tina Thompson, and the fans revolted. The fans were like, that's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take for all three of these leagues. For the fans to go, look here, you are cheating us out of the sport of competition. That is a violation of the Consumer Protection Act. This is not what we paying for, and keep their dollars in their pockets. That's what it's going to take. Leave those arenas and stadiums empty until they learn to respect these players, because that is the message. They do not respect melanated talent unless they can control it. And that is one problem with the NFL as well. Hey, brother, how you doing? It said the WNBA just gave franchises to 4 NB teams. What's up with the takeover? Okay, well, one team I heard was denied, and they said it was led by Candace Parker in Tennessee, called the Tennessee Summit. Apparently, she had put together a buying group, a purchasing group, and or she was a part of a purchasing group. Like Serena got her team, right? She's part of a purchasing group in Toronto. And I said to myself, didn't they just retire Candace Parker's number? So they retired her number in the same week they denied her a WNBA team. What would you rather have? The damn jersey retired or the goddamn team ownership? You see how that works? That's why I say all this placating with Angel, giving her all these accolades. One, you can't deny that. So yeah, you can give it to him, but you're robbing her of what she rightfully earned. Sure, the accolades and recognition is nice because they didn't give her that last year. So they stepping her up while still robbing her over here. Same thing with Candace. Candace Parker is a legend in the WNBA, and they denied her a team in Nashville. Half the people from California that move out of California move to Nashville. Nashville has a population explosion. It's only 3 hours from Atlanta, and they denied her a team, but they gave her a damn jersey. What did Malcolm X say about trinkets? That's what's happening. Trinkets. You're getting trinkets. They talked about Shador incessantly leading up to the draft, which is exploiting him for views. And now they virtually want him gone and out of sight. The conversation about NIL and the NFL is starting to gain traction. I think it was even Mel Kiper Jr. who said on the night of the draft, the NFL needs to get over itself. A lot of these players are coming out with money. But is money in NIL the only problem? Is it that the NFL is anti-NIL, or are they anti-black? We're going to talk about what's wrong with the NFL. All right, so we're going to get out of here. 56 minutes. This was awesome. We will be back. We can continue the conversation in the overall chat. Y'all have some good messages in here. Khalil said they are boxing themselves into a coffin because if you don't celebrate Angel when she do it, why would you celebrate her? Why would I celebrate her when she do it? If Angel is the benchmark, they don't want that. No, they don't want that. They don't want people talking about Angel. They want people talking about Caitlyn. And that's the craziest thing to me. The craziest thing is to come into a league that is dominated by melanated people and not want the melanated people who have the talent to shine. So you want to rig it. You want to prefer it up. If some people can't be the captain, they will destroy the entire ship. That's what they are doing. That's why the views are low in the NBA, and probably why they coming for Coach Don Staley. Because they views is low, people don't want to come out no more. See, the NBA has done itself in. And it ain't the guaranteed contracts. It's the turning off people like me who willing to pay $600 for cabana seats to entertain family. But you don't want to win. And I can see this. And the one person that's problematic, you want to keep and get rid of everybody else. The coach, the rising stars, the players you brought in for 130 mil. Like it's a revolving door because you want to placate one person who's holding the whole damn team hostage. That's why they're coming after Don Staley. The views are down. 23 million people watch NCAA women's basketball finals. I'm not mad because that's what it's going to take to get me to watch. That's what it's going to take to get me to watch something that looks like progress because they are working overtime to hold back these leagues and rig these leagues and disrespect the talent and ignore the talent and stop the talent from making the money. If you don't like melanated players being the majority of a certain league, go find another goddamn sport because you out here ruining it for the people that want to enjoy it. That goes for college football, that goes for the NBA, that goes for the NFL, and that goes for the WNBA. They're not holding Angel Reese back for any other reason. Is that she's melanated. People want to follow her and they want people to follow someone else. This is about preference. This is about taking a majority melanated league that is also queer and making it look like a product that straight white women want to come watch. And they somehow believe straight white women don't want to see Angel Reese play basketball. Sound like they're going after non-basketball fans. And they trying to force it into the WNBA. That's like you going by a damn scooter and you trying to turn it into a car. You should have bought a damn car. And it's all of these people that are not melanated at the top that are doing this, that are destroying these damn leagues. Tennessee is not connected to NBA team. They give these new teams to NBA owners no independence. Toronto is owned independently. It's not owned. I don't think it's owned by a team. The Atlanta Hawks is not. The Atlanta Dream is not associated to the Atlanta Hawks. They are not associated at all. They are not. So that's not true. The Atlanta Hawks are independent. The Atlanta Dream is independent of the Hawks. So much so that I lived here for 2 years and didn't even know the damn Dream was here. They are not associated at all. It used to be that way. I watched a documentary about that. How the LA team had the LA Sparks. They are associated. But the Atlanta team is not. The Chicago Sky is not associated. If I don't believe, they are not associated with the Chicago Bulls. In fact, they actually have a black woman either in ownership or their front office. And it still is not helping. It's still not helping. That tells me that the things we're seeing with Angel Reese are not happening at the team executive level, that their marching orders are coming from the league. You trying to tell me in a city like Chicago, you willing to hold Angel Reese back? Hell no. That's coming from the league. And whatever the league want, the media gonna do because the media wants access to the players. It's like people are jealous because the leagues that make all the money are dominated by melanated talent. But then that's baseball. Go put your hands in that. Go put your hands in that. And it used to be a lot more black baseball players. What happened to that? See, I don't understand how racists want to have any parts. Like Donald Sterling, I don't understand how he wanted to have any part of the Clippers. Did it give you some type of plantation fantasy to have a league that's dominated by black people so you feel like you somehow back in the late 1700s? The NFL is the same way. And you already know what teams. So that hits what the hell is wrong with the NFL? That's where the series comes from. We ain't talking about the NFL. We're talking about people in the NFL and some like player mentality, ownership, etc. It's a whole lot to it. It's not just about what's happening today. In hockey too, probably because women's gymnastics in college saw black HBCU teams were dominating in gymnastics. One school was Fisk. Do y'all know Fisk has had to shutter their gymnastics program? Why? Because they beating out these D1 schools. It's shame on Fisk for bowing to the pressure. Well, we just don't think it's something we could keep up. See, that's what happened. When they took all that money, when everybody was getting 90 million, 40 million, that's exactly what happened. You gave up your control for the money, and now you don't have the control. You had more control when they weren't paying attention to you. Angel Reese has the big three: beauty, body, and game. They're not ready for black. Heck no. They're not ready for that at all. They're not ready for a black woman to lead in spaces because they don't want to see black women, period. They really don't. If you pay attention to everything that's out there, and fellas, no disrespect, if you looking at TV, if you looking at commercials, a black man is either paired up with another man, regardless of the partner's ethnicity, or somebody that's not black if it's a woman. I'm like, fellas, y'all have got to take back y'all's reputation, who you really are, because the media is setting you up for the okie doke. They either making y'all gay, or they putting you with another man, or they putting you with a woman that is not black. And there's a lot of people falling for it. I just hate to say it. They feel like that means, oh my God, I'm seeing myself or somebody that looks like me in the ad. Yeah, but not with people that you love, with people they want you to pair up with. Again, trying to orchestrate what happens with black people. It said, I understand that, but the WNBA is looking to siege leverage. Watch the play. Here's the thing. The WNBA could have always had leverage. They could have always had leverage. They didn't advertise because they didn't have a product that people would want to see. So now you have a product that people want to see. What's the difference? They're taking somebody who's not the best because she's what they believe to be a straight white woman, and that's who they want to market to. That's not leverage. What that is it's going to set you up for failure because one thing about the WNBA fans, their fans from when they first started are still their fans. That's why Caitlyn came out and said the WNBA was built on the backs of black women because it is undeniable. So how is it that you take people who are not the best and who are not black and make them the face and you overlook everybody? Candace Parker, Asia Wilson, Angel Reese, Cheryl Swoops, and anybody else in between. Because that's not who they wanted to market. That's not leverage. That's using racism as a marketing strategy. And they going out here and they opening all these teams. Fine, you're gonna have to answer to the fans at some point. Why you think they switching it up a little bit instead of being blatant with it like they were last season? Oh, they were blatant with it last season. They blatantly showed you they were shunning Angel Reese. They can't do that this year. But they got their way in the WNBA just like the NFL got their way in the draft. But this ain't the end of it. Instead of chanting Angel Reese for All Star, you might be chanting MVP. Then what they gonna do? You see, they can't snub Asia Wilson for MVP like they want to. If they could have gave Caitlin Clark MVP last year, they would have did it because it works into their marketing strategy. That's where the preference comes from. Thank you, K. Daniel. Lil said the demographic they are trying to capture wants women pregnant in the kitchen. Probably so. I think the market they're going after, they said, is straight white women. I don't see how you take a scooter and turn it into a car. Let's be honest. The league is dominated not just by melanated women, but by women who associate with LGBTQ. So you gonna go get straight white women and force them to watch the LGBT community ball out in basketball? How you gonna do that? How are you going to do that? Why not just market to the audience that you have? or go find a league and start another one that's where a lot of straight white women play. Is that why they don't talk about Paige? Because they don't know? Or maybe they do. Is that what they think about Caitlyn? Like they really know who she is? They know what she let them know. She's different herself this year. And I'm not talking about on the court. She's still with the same BS on the court. She's different off the court. She's more comfortable. She's more relaxed. But she's not the best player. And that's where they are failing because I want to see how this works with going forward without Angel Reese. I want to see what Angel Reese does. Her contract got to be up, I think, next year. I think what they had 3-year contracts for a measly $75,000. I want to see what she does. The money gonna have to be real good, or she might decide to do something else because they're trying to change the way the league looks, and it's not just melanin. To go after a straight white female demographic when the league itself is already cemented as melanated players and players, non-melanated also, who associate with LGBTQ, which might be part of the reason for the mean girl spirit against Angel Reese and or Caitlin Clark. You want to hear anybody talk about that? They will. They will what, Angel? On Reddit? Okay, we made it to a minute, an hour and 9 minutes. Okay, I have another show to put together, so we'll be back. This was good. Again, we can keep the conversation going in you know, the chat. The team is off. I think nobody's playing or somebody's playing tonight, but I don't think the Sky play again. I think it said until July 6th. So I'm probably gonna watch that game. I think tonight they're supposed to be Nafessa Collier. Makes sense, right? The leader on offense for points is playing against the Indiana Fever. Again, I don't know if Caitlin Clark is back or not, but if you watch it, I want you to keep your eyes open for somebody named Mitchell, Erica Mitchell. That's the baller. Reddit, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It said they will core Angel. They will core Angel for another year. What you mean by that? Another, they will core her? What does that mean? It said that marketing strategy is going to alternate their original fan base. That's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to do. The funny thing is, the NFL is trying to make themselves boycott resistant by embracing. I want to use that word carefully, attaching themselves to the LGBT community. But will they embrace the LGBT community? And meaning, if you have players that are part of the community, is the NFL going to allow them to live out loud? Or you just attaching yourself because you need bodies to make yourself boycott resistant? I came late. I'll have to rewatch. Okay, good, Juanita. It's actually good. Thank you so much. Uh Reddit Talk said they're going to, oh, there you go. It said if the equivalent it's the equivalent of the NFL franchise tag. Oh, okay. So you saying they're gonna tag Angel Reese. Okay. But that means the money gonna be right then though, right? Thank you so much for the support. Reddit. So if you say they're going to tag Angel Reese, that means the money's going to be right. Right? Is that what you mean? Khalil said people also need to understand the demographics, the socioeconomics, the media in this country makes a difference. Numbers matter more than basketball. Then they need to find somewhere else to exact those numbers. Here's the thing. They could go start a whole nother league with straight white women. The audience, the players, go do it. I want to see you do it. Why they don't do that? You want to take this league and turn it into that and forsake all of the fans that have been riding with the WNBA since the beginning? And all of the players are not straight white women. So you gonna ignore the talent that don't look like the women you trying to get to come watch the games? You have a better chance. I think there are more men watching the WNBA. And what people don't know is the biggest fan base for the WNBA is black men. Yep. Do you see advertisers like Gillette and whatever men like? Nope. You see Coach. Why? Who am I going after? Okay. Black men are the biggest supporters of the WNBA. When you go to a game, you're going to see them with their daughters. Sometimes you're just going to see them. Yep. That's facts. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know the biggest supporters of the WNBA is black men? No. You don't even see the association in the media. The NFL is not going to accept a gay player. Probably not, but I want to see how they're going to make this marriage work, because they trying to make themselves boycott proof by going after the LGBT community, because they believe that they identify more with, I guess you could say, gender than they do race, which is why they're going after that community. Franchise tag her. Yeah. For the Commissioner's Cup. So we'll see. We'll see. That's what's playing. That's what's tonight. I think the Commissioner's Cup. We'll see. Nafessa Collier is really good. I think I like to watch her because she's good. She earned what she has. It's no doubt that Angel got snubbed. I don't care if you say she got snubbed by the players or if you say she got snubbed by the media that I think the league is hiding behind. She's too good and her value is too impactful and her fan base is being ignored. And that doesn't make any sense. That's not a business decision. Why you just can't embrace both fan bases? I heard the WNBA used to bully straight women allegedly. I have heard people say that. That's why I said it could be a bit of mean girlness because of who Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are. I have no stats on that. I have not looked it up. I have also heard that that was a thing at one point. So I have heard that as well, Khalil. So I don't know how true that is, but when I go to the games, the LGTB community's at the games. I don't see a whole lot of pride unless it's Pride Month. You would think with the large demographic of people associated with LGBTQ that you would see a lot more on the uniforms, the shoes, the socks, the signage. Nope. Nope. So and they've been there the whole time. The LGBT community been there since the start. All right, y'all. This was good. I can tell y'all like this conversation. Okay, that's good. We'll be back. We'll be back. I think I said at 5 o'clock. So I gotta go eat lunch. Get ready for my 5 o'clock show. What the hell is wrong with the NFL? At 5:05 p.m. Eastern time. I will be back. This was wonderful. Make sure y'all follow, hit the like button, subscribe. I would have watched the All-Star game if Angel was playing. Right. I'm not interested without her playing. Without her, I'll find something else to do. I'm the same way, brother. The same way. Let me know if y'all plan on watching the All-Star game now that you know Angel's not in it. Just leave me some comments. Yes, I'm watching. No, I'm not watching. I'm just curious, and we can keep the conversation going in the overall chat after the live stream ends. Exactly. Has been black men for years. Right. And you've never heard this. It's like they don't appreciate the audience that they have. That's the issue with the WNBA. They don't want the audience that they have. Take care. Thank you so much. I will enjoy my lunch. I'll see y'all later. This was excellent. Excellent. I'm glad to know y'all like basketball because y'all know my two passion for sports are basketball and football. So we'll be back this afternoon with a football conversation. What the hell is wrong with the NFL? And I'll see y'all. I'll schedule it. That way, turn your notifications on. We'll be back in a little bit. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the support, Reddit. I appreciate you hanging out with us. Hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. And don't forget, we have memberships. Become a member. I do make members only videos, shorts, and we have member only live streams. So consider becoming a member if you hang out with us all the time. All right. I'll see y'all later. Thanks so much for watching What She Said Sports. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Be sure to join our daily live stream and listen up to What She Said Sports on the go on Spotify. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Stay for another video.